Hello, what's going on? This is That One Bullet, and we are here playing Star Wars Empire at War Awakening of the Rebellion mod. This is part 18, and I have a lot of interesting things to share from my trip out of the country, um, across the seas over to Europe, and along with a special announcement regarding this game. And I just, oh my god, I can't wait to show you guys. But um, hold on. So let's get a little bit more reacquainted with what's going on with the game first. So, honestly, yeah, I should get reacquainted with it too. Um, so I know that I'm sending. Oh yeah, this is what. Okay, there was this. Okay, so in order to talk about what's happening right now, so there was this thing in the files as I was doing the English translation for this game. I found out that there was some sort of mission where you could send Han Solo to Mon Mothma, and they would automatically go to Mon Calamari, which is the mission I'm on currently. Um, and the reason I found this out was that I was dabbling. Oh, very fucking lucky. Auto resolve right there. Don't ever do auto resolves, no matter what. Like, I'm looking into. Well, right. To get back to the topic, I'm actually patching the mod. It's not official yet. I'm trying to get in contact with Steiner Modding Group itself. Um, but I'm trying to release a full 2.50 English version, completed, or at least a patch, add on to their 2.50 German setup. I don't exactly know how I'm going to do it, but I have been learning this game engine, and it's been so much fun. It's been so much fun figuring out how this game works and how the intricacies behind, like, how how you spawn units, or how much damage a unit does, or how much reinforcements you get from space stations, or I it's just it's so much knowledge, but I've been learning it on my trip, and that's kind of went hand in hand. My trip, I had some downtime. I didn't really have a lot of internet access, so what did I do? I just started coding. I have a little bit of coding background myself. This What this game runs on, or how you mod it, is XML, extended markup language, and the functions are pre-built like in the game's code, so they've already been pre-packaged, and so you just use those functions to basically add new content into the game. It's really interesting. Um, and so I've been, messing around with it, and I've just been fixing a lot of bugs. And there's some things that if you play this mod regularly, you will definitely enjoy some of the fixes I'm trying to bring. And hopefully I'll get in contact with SMG, and I'll be able to release a full version. If not, well, I don't know. I mean, I want to respect the creators, like, sort of their intellectual property, because I mean they did spend their, just like I'm spending now, free time to create this mod, and I don't want to release something that's like unofficial or official. It doesn't matter. Like, I want to respect what they've done, and since I'm using some of their assets that haven't been used in the actual mod, like there's a couple of things that have been used in the mod, or haven't been used in the mod, that are still in the game code. And so there's a couple ships I'm trying to bring back, a couple of ground units I'm trying to bring back. There's a lot of cool things, and just also a lot of rebalancing tweaks. So since the Black Sun is really bad currently, I'm trying to fix the Black Sun and be able to, I don't know, so you have a fun experience. And it's proving to be really difficult because there's so much inherent problems with how, I mean, not to blame SMG, but there's a little bit of inherent problems with how they designed the Black Sun. And since in the earlier versions they were never meant to be playable, and then they just kind of added them as a playable faction, and you can do a galactic conquest with them, not everything is exactly balanced, and not everything is fun. So it might take me a while before I'm able to balance, if I ever even get this out. But it's just something I've just been, I don't know, I'm very passionate about this, and yeah, and it's kind of coming from a very, like, I know I have experience with this sort of stuff, and I'm learning the game engine. Um, it's actually coming really well. I know which files to modify. I know where I'm looking for things. I've got it down to a science almost. So it started really sluggish and slow with I was just modifying the text file, just translating the game, and now it's escalated to I'm actually changing how the game plays and adding things to it, which is awesome. But a little bit about what's going on right now. This is going to be a pretty long battle, which is perfect for like my discussion that I'm going to have. This battle is basically like I've set this up on Bothawi. Remember, if in past episode I invaded Bothawi and then my Space Force left. And I left it unguarded per se. But what I did was I built a shield generator, I built turbo laser towers, and I built a couple ground defenses. And so what I do is I basically turtle, and I wait for them to come through the shield generator because there's only 2 paths they can take minus air vehicles. Air vehicles can fly over the mountain. So basically, you just set up your army in both locations that the ground units can walk through, and then you set up AA turrets by the shield generator so that aircraft doesn't get sneaky and attack you. And here comes a bombing run that I juke, and unfortunately, what it ends up doing, or it's pretty funny. It blows up this like mercenary outfitter, and all of a sudden these like pirate soldiers come out. For no reason. They're just like, oh, we're in the middle of this huge battle, like what the hell is going on? But yeah, it was a pro bombing run dodge. You aren't always able to do that. I'm actually working with the bombing runs and the orbital strikes. That's like one of the first things I started to balance. Did I show off the ground camera? This is one of those things, see, it's come to the point where it's been so long that I don't remember what I've shown off in terms of my modifications. I did modify the cameras. I gave them a larger field of view, and the ground camera is not attached. So I get to, like, you know, move it around kind of like you'd expect it to instead of this locked position. And that Bothan just got smothered. Like, he was the last one there, he just got annihilated. But you can see, oh yeah, here's my setup. So like you have the shield generator. I'm using the free forces to go out and distract them and maybe take a little bit of casualties before they get to my base. Kind of soften them up a little bit. But no orbital bombardments or bombing runs should be able to come through the shield. So you can see that they're going to have to assault through one of 2 choke points. And it's not going to go for them. Go good for them. I meant to say. And you can see that even turbo laser towers can help with aircraft, although they're not that effective against LAATs or TIE fighters. And this turbo laser goes a little bit derp and decides to switch targets, even though I was right about to blow it up. And I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Like, but have no fear. Oh yeah. Don't forget the shield generator upgrade. Shield generator upgrade prevents missiles from coming through. I almost forgot. And then, but the LAT gets destroyed anyways. So, and this is basically what the battle's going to be. It's going to be, oh, come through my shield, bro. You're going to get completely destroyed. But yeah. So I was saying I was patching the bombing runs and the orbital strikes. That was one of the first things that I kind of have on my change list. I actually am keeping a active changelog note in a notepad right now. I can switch digital if you guys want me to. I mean, the thing is that I'm not developing this for anyone, so don't get the idea that I'm going to be taking requests or whatever like that. And I'm not even on the mod team yet, or I haven't even contacted them. So, yeah. Oh, and that's why you set up AA turrets. You get double kills with one AA turret strike. So yeah, so I'm not taking requests or anything. Like, I am just simply patching this game, and I'm not adding any of my own, or well, a little bit of my own in terms of the Black Sun, like personal opinion on how the game should play, because I've played it for so long. But other than that, I'm trying to stay away from change the core gameplay Only rebalance tweaks that, like, if something's really bad or really good, or if something costs too much. The Black Sun have a major problem with that. But yeah, so I don't know how long it's going to take for me to release something like this. I hope I get more active in the modding community because of this. I mean, that would be nice. If anyone who plays or who knows maybe a little bit about the modding scene, if you guys can help me out and maybe, I don't know, get me in contact. If you guys know the mod creators, it's kind of a long shot, but if any of you have access to that, that would be great. Because I mean, if I can release this to everyone, that would be the ultimate success for me. Because I mean, I'd love to get the game to a more stable state, and there's a lot of bugs in the game. One of which will be coming up pretty shortly. No spoilers. There's another one too with the LAT. When it dips, its hitbox doesn't register properly, but that's not something I can actually do. Mainly because I don't do modeling. I don't really do rigging. I tried to. It's a little bit difficult. So things like hitboxes, that is more inside the model, like the model file, the ALO file. So I'm not going to be able to dabble with that. But what I can dabble with is what's coming up right here. These tanks. You can see they're lasers. I don't know if you've ever used these tanks. This is a new unit, by the way. It's a TX-130. And it's like the Empire, like hover tank. It's from the Clone Wars. But it has this laser that is supposed to be anti-infantry. But what it ends up doing, it gives off an annoying fucking sound, first of all. Second of all, when it fires, it ceases to move. And I found out that it's actually it's done in a very weird way. The projectile is. It's done in it's like an electric shock from the Emperor that has a different model. The laser beam is replacing the electrocuting shocks, and so that causes the unit to stand still because it's an ability that's automatically activated. It doesn't have a button. So there's one of two ways that I thought about going about fixing this. Is one, make it a clickable ability that basically forces it to stand still, which I could still revert to, but the option that I'm dabbling with right now is turning it into kind of like more of a fast-firing turbo laser that looks like a singular beam. I hope to get that in action. I mean, I did get it in action. It's just in testing right now for balance purposes to see if it's not OP. And yeah, but as I'm finding out very quickly that developing something like this, which just made me respect the modding community even more, is that it's such a time suck to learn the program. And look at all the bodies of these infantry coming in. They're not getting through, and that's why I recommend this strategy. Only problem is that it does get repetitive, and so in future episodes, if these battles happen more frequently, I'm gonna end up kind of maybe giving highlights only or speeding it up, and I don't know. We'll see. It's gonna be, I don't know. This mod is very weird for live Let's Plays, so it's just gonna be kind of whatever fits. So it's gonna be live most of the time, and then if something needs to be edited, it'll be in post. So I'll just be kind of transitioning back and forth. I hope you guys don't mind, but this game does get sometimes tedious, and I don't want my audience, that means you guys, to be bored. Because this gets boring for me too. Like, watch, like you're just sitting around and you're waiting for these, this AI to just, yeah, like I fast forward because it gets boring. They're not retreating. They just keep sending infantry. They're obviously not going to win. And I've looking at the AI code. It's a little bit complicated. You have to really know the game. And so as of right now, I'm not messing with AI. They have a pretty good AI in place, which is, you know, it does its purpose. So I am not going to, I'm not gonna mess around with AI for now. And I don't need to, because everything else is done in XML. So I should be okay. But yeah, here's a little strategy tip. basically on, at least on Bothawi, you have 4 of these pads, and you could put 1 repair and 1 heal for infantry. Look at these sneaky ass stormtroopers sneaking around. What do you think you're doing? You're not going anywhere. You're gonna get shot down by tanks. Yeah, exactly. But what you could do is, like I did, set up anti-vehicle turrets and then a repair and a heal station, and lo and behold, your infantry is invincible, and so are your tanks because they're healing, and then you have a shield. That's right outside. One of the things I really like to change would be to make the shield impenetrable from fire from both sides, because shooting out of a shield like this is kind of bogus. And maybe it would provide a little bit more balance and a little bit of a game changer to shield mechanics in the game. At least the shield generator on ground. I'm not going to mess around with that in space because, you know, I'm not messing with how the game plays. But this is one of those things that I feel is a little bit imbalanced. Because even as a player, this would be extremely difficult to get through, and you don't want those situations in games. You want things to be fun for the player. That doesn't mean making something too weak is also not good, because I'm getting into like game theology or how you make games, since I am studying game development at college. But this is not something I've been taught. This is just something I've noticed, is that if you look at the best of games that have come out, I see a lot of developers trying to nerf things into oblivion when they see a good weapon or a good combination. But I think that preemptively nerfing things is not exactly the best strategy always, because I think maybe the better strategy would be to look at the rest of your strategies in the game. Like, so if you have a set of weapons in a game, or in this case you have a set of vehicles or units, and you say, oh, well, unit A, let's say that tank is overpowered, the one that's sitting there right now. Let's say one of those tanks is overpowered. Well, you should first look at the rest of your unit arsenal and see, well, maybe it's not that one unit is overpowered. Maybe it's because the rest of these suck. And nerfing the tank that's overpowered would, because usually when something's overpowered, you get that fuck yeah feeling. You know what I mean? Like you're running around, you have like 5 Star Destroyers or something, and you're just like, yeah, I'm invincible, and that's a good feeling. You want that feeling. But at the same time, if something feels like bullshit, like, oh, I can send 1 tank into the enemy base and it's going to destroy everything, that is the limit, right? But at the same time, if you nerf everything, aka what happened with the Black Sun in this game, it's not fun to play because you're battling against shit units. You don't, or you're trying to use bad units, and finally, this game's over. And they managed to build a turret right outside my base. So I don't know if that is persistent. I don't actually remember. But either way, that's kind of the theology behind balancing things, is that you want to get everything to be fun for the player. And that doesn't exactly mean nerfing the... If you find that like one of your tanks or units is fun to use because it's a little bit overpowered, then buff up everything else along with it and make everything else just as fun to use. So that's kind of the ideology that I have when patching this game. And here I'm sending around that fleet. I'm going to do some outer rim sieges on the bottom. I'm also sending around Bail Organa to keep researching tech for me. I've actually found it's really difficult to explain that mechanic. It's not exactly the easiest. I don't even know where it exists, the steel mechanic. And that was weird. They corrupted that planet, and then it just went away. And so my ships just went by, and then they kept the intersection. That's a very interesting scenario. And here it's going to be... Yep, I knew... Okay, I remember this part. Because, so, what... This is exactly why you do not do auto-resolve. I could have easily not lost any units there, but I ended up losing a Corellian Corvette. And now I gotta go and build this stupid thing, just because the auto-resolve in this game is really bad, and I don't think there's a way to actually code it any better. I mean, it's literally all it does is it takes all of your units. There's a separate value for auto resolve, and usually the auto resolve value is weaker than the tactical value of health, and so what you get is that it just adds up all the tactical health of one side, adds up all the tactical health of the other, or I mean auto resolve health, and it just basically says like, okay, well, then it subtracts the difference, and then it destroys whatever units is within that difference. It's a really, I don't know, the system is questionable. So don't use auto resolve. And here I'm just gonna speed up this this initial space assault or whatever when I get to the space station. I don't know if I'm gonna actually mess with that either. I think I should, but just the time it takes to get across these levels, I think the maps are a little bit too big. But that's a thing. I don't know. The cool thing is I can get input from you guys, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be taking requests. But if you guys think that that does take too long, I can see if I can do anything with that. So basically, the strategy going in here is, oh, I have 2 capital ships, time to glass cannon. Basically, their space station. That's also another balancing thing I'm going into. Is the Black Sun space stations. They're really bad. That's a level 3 space station, and in comparison to Empire level 3 space station and Rebel level 3 space station, Black Sun is crap. Absolute crap. And so is that Munificent frigate, which I've also already buffed. So the next time I'll be playing, which will be the next recording, is sort of I don't know. See, I kind of try and get my mod, or this mod, to a state where it's still relatively balanced, so that I can keep doing the Let's Play, so that I don't have something broken or something I'm currently changing. So I basically set up versions or goals. I meet those goals, and only then do I record. And that's the system I'm going to do it with. And also, what was I going to say? I also have been having trouble with my laptop, so that's something to bear with me on. My laptop that I use to play these games on is overheating, and only when I'm playing games. So it's probably the graphics card. I've been running some heat tests. I don't know. It seems to be random, but it seems to be a very also common occurrence in this laptop after it's 3 years old. So I mean, it kind of reaches that point eventually. But I'm gonna take it apart and I'm gonna clean it and see what's going on. What's the problem with this heat source? Because after a long time of play, the screen freezes and it locks up, and I have to manually power down the PC with the power button. But yeah, so bear with me, guys. Next episode should be coming out pretty soon. I'm super excited to show my in-progress work on the mod, and I'll see you guys in part 19. See you later.